Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 4 of our F1 22 Haas Road to Glory. Yes, of course, if you missed out on the video that went live yesterday, I would definitely recommend going back and checking it out. So far this season, we've been going from strength to strength. Of course, there will be spoilers in just a moment. But of course, this weekend, we head to the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. If you're catching up with my Team series, of course, this weekend, the first sprint race weekend of our F1 22 Haas Road to Glory, I've decided I'm going to change around the format slightly. So today's video is just going to be qualifying and the sprint race, and then tomorrow we'll jump in with all the action from the proper Grand Prix itself there. And looking at those weather conditions, things could get very, very spicy when we get into the proper Grand Prix tomorrow. Like I said there, you know, just kind of felt one video with both of them in is probably a bit too long. And of course, yeah, trying to get ahead where I'm at the British Grand Prix this weekend. Actually, at the time tomorrow's video is going live there. But of course, a massive thank you as well to all of you guys for the insane support on the start of F1 22. If you're new around here and you're not already, make sure you get yourself subscribed as well for daily F1 22 content as well. You know, loving the game so far. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it as well. And yeah, back in Imola this weekend though, of course, like I said, Albert Park, Australia last time round. Best race of the season so far. Heading into Imola, we're full of confidence after our first ever podium on F1 22 there. Charles Leclerc still leads the way, 51 points ahead of Max Verstappen and Carlos Sainz there. I mean, we're only 20 points away from the championship battle. We're closer to Charles Leclerc than Esteban Ocon is to me. We've just been super consistent in the opening races of the campaign there. The team now up to 4th as well in the Constructors' Championship. I think it's going to be a very difficult task to try and match Mercedes and, you know, Red Bull as well have struggled a little bit in the early races. But of course, yeah, the top 5 all making mistakes early on in the year there. I don't think any of them have had a clean run through the first 3 Grand Prix of the year. And of course, yeah, we've just been super consistent as well there. In terms, though, of performance, still got a lot of upgrades in the works. Unfortunately, yeah, a lot of parts failed heading into this weekend, so we've actually had to sort of redo the upgrades once more there, which have allowed Alpine and Alfa Romeo just to get a little bit of an advantage as we head into this weekend. They can see Alpine now jumping past both Alfa Romeo and ourselves, but fingers crossed we'll get those upgrades on the car. You know, I'm still busy working behind the scenes in the practice sessions as well. But yeah, round 4 of the year then, here from Imola. Like I said, sprint race and qualifying today, proper race tomorrow. Let's get into it then here for the Emilia Romagna weekend. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. Well, here we are then, back at Imola once more for yet another Friday night qualifying session here. Must admit, you know, here at Imola a couple of months ago, you can see why sprint races work for the fans at the circuit there. You know, gives you a proper reason to go down on a Friday night as well there. But yeah, fingers crossed we can try and get a good lap here today and put ourselves in a strong stead ready for the sprint race tomorrow. So we'll just tip it in over the curb through turn 1 and turn 2. The Haas now, I'm getting used to it. I'm a bit more settled with the car around a lot of the lap as we head through Sector 1. Ooh, a little bit wide there. That's not going to help me out on our first run. Going to definitely throw away a good few tenths. But we may as well just finish it anyway. Try and get the banker on the board as we head up the hill. Yeah, fingers crossed, though, as Mick Schumacher now just exiting out of the pit lane. The rest of the lap can be somewhat tidy. As well, you can just see over the curb in there, really, really struggling to get the car planted where I wanted it, but we have to keep plugging away here as we head back up the hill in towards the final sector of the lap, up into the chicane, of course, where Charles Leclerc looped it round in real life. Back end tries it on myself as well. Oh, back end really tries it. That's not quite what I had in mind there off the exit of that corner. Wanted to get on the throttle quickly, but the lap was basically ruined anyway. I guess we'll have to go again. Well, there we go. Charles Leclerc sets the pace on a 1:15.9, so that is now the time to chase here as we continue on through qualifying. 11 minutes left on the clock, so we've definitely got enough time to use all 3 sets of the soft compound tyres here. Of course, only the one qualifying session in the Haas Road to Glory. To be honest, I reckon sprint weekends, they should just have, say, a half-hour qualifying session where you can go out for as many attempts as you like. But anyway, back through the first sector then once again. Felt a little bit tidier this time round. Let's just wait and see as we head down in towards the Villeneuve chicane. Oh, that time around we don't quite get in the gravel, but still not the best line through there. As waved to myself up through Tosa. Really try and get on the throttle on the exit as we head up the hill, though. It always amazes me just how quick the cars in real life take off up to here. They're down into 5th gear, though, at the top of the hill. What is wrong with me today in qualifying here in Imola? It's more front wing damage. Haas are not going to be happy with me at the moment. I mean, Mick Schumacher's meant to be the one that stacks it quite a lot, but luckily not the whole wing gone that time round. But I just cannot get a lap in here. What is happening? We might be able to go back out on this set of tyres again and try and get fourth run in, hopefully on a fresh set. I'm having a nightmare. Right, so we're going to go out then again on the same set of tyres we tried to use on the last run, and now we've actually got to desperately try and get a banker lap in here around Imola. Of course, an old school circuit, no room for error, but I really am taking that to all new extremes this weekend as we head back down towards turn 1. Got to make sure we also decide as well here whether this lap's worth doing, because we'd have to hurry back into the pit lane at the end of our second run there. It's just taking slightly less risk through the first chicane this time round. They're keeping it nice and tidy. Let's back them into 8th gear there. Can we actually try and get a tidy run through here for the first time all session? That was a little bit better that time round. So we are slowly getting our eye back in as soon as I say that. Horribly wide up through Tosa. We've never had this many issues qualifying this car so far this year there as we head up in towards the next corner. Back down into 5th gear again there, but just blending the throttle that time through rather than just stamping on the throttle as down through Aqua Minerale. Really got to utilise all the curbs right the way throughout that corner. Now up in towards the Variante Alta, if I'm not mistaken. Again, shut the car over the curbs, but avoid the one on the exit there. Still a little bit of wheel spin, but luckily this time around we stamp it out nice and quickly as down in towards the final couple of corners then of my 3rd attempt here from Imola. We're finally going to be able to get a lap in as long as we don't do a Sainz through the final couple of turns there. Up towards the flag. What is the time going to be? It is going to be a 16.5. P6 immediately, right alongside the 2 Spaniards of Alonso and Sainz. I'll take it, but Verstappen now shatters that with a 15.7. So we're still about a second away from the top times. But we've got to do this in lap quite quickly to get out again for my final run. Well, it's not often then I have to do 4 runs in a qualifying session here on F1 22. But that's just how much I've struggled to try and get this Haas around at the Imola Grand Prix circuit. Then one last run though, 30 seconds left on the clock. Let's really try and concentrate and get a lap worth writing home about there. Still nestled up inside the top 10 at the moment, but there's definitely a couple of cars we can improve and go quicker than. Lando Norris and Fernando Alonso are the 2 I'm eyeing up there. Is back through the first chicane once more. Again, trying to take a little bit more risk this line round, but we do know how easily this track can bite. Just trying to leave it in 5th gear there through the second chicane there, and that's what I mean. That's the line you need through there. Down towards Tosa. Try and get the car once again to the apex. They're a quarter of a second up as we head up the hill. This has got to be the lap. Just really trying to modulate the throttle up through the Aqua Minerale. Come on, we can nail this. Really attack the curb through chicane there. Took a bit too much on the way in, but avoid the wheel spin on the way out. And look at that, nearly 4 tenths up now as we head down in towards the final couple of corners of the lap here. Can we cause an upset once more and really rustle the feathers of the top guys here? Try to avoid that curb as best as possible. Attack the curb though through the final corner. Half a second as we head up to the line. Where's this going to put us? It's P4! That's what I'm talking about. Brilliant lap to end the session. Love that. Ready for the sprint.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves once again of our top 3. Verstappen, Leclerc and George Russell. Goodbye for now then, but really we're just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Well, there we are then, the end of qualifying here for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. And Max Verstappen will line up on pole, ready for the sprint there, just a 10th clear of Charles Leclerc and George Russell. But we got 4 Brits in a row there. George Russell, myself, Lewis Hamilton and Lando Norris consisting 3rd through 6th there. So row 2 and row 3 there. But 3 tenths away from pole at the end of that session there. I am absolutely loving that. We got 11 laps ahead of us though, ready for the sprint. Fingers crossed we can keep it clean and tidy early on. Actually try and get a good start here, and maybe bring home our first sprint points of F1 22. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
So it's all about speed in today's sprint, not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Russell, Mr. Monaco, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Norris, Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Ocon, and Valtteri Bottas, Perez, Mick Schumacher, Pierre Gasly and Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Vettel, Alex Albon and Guan Yu Zhou. Latifi and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out.
Okay, this is our engine supplier's home Grand Prix, so let's give them a race worth watching.
Well, fingers crossed, as the second highest Ferrari-powered car on the grid, we can give them a good showing here at Imola. 11 laps ahead of us, though. Of course, we learnt our lesson after the sprint race in the My Team career mode. There's no real point in going onto those soft compound tyres for the start here. So fingers crossed on a set of mediums, we can just try and hang on towards the front of the field here. I mean, if we walk away with 4th place, I would be incredibly happy there. But Hamilton behind us, Lando Norris as well. They're both 2 very quick drivers on F1 22 there, or just in general, to be honest. But yeah, ready for the formation lap here for the F1 sprint. As always, need to try and get as much heat as possible into the rubber. Let's see what we can do. Heading down towards the final corner then, Max Verstappen needs to get a strong weekend here at Imola. And of course Charles Leclerc as well, hoping for a similar story from this circuit. Couldn't even overtake me at Albert Park yesterday. So how is he going to fare trying to get around Max Verstappen today? But really going to try and put as much work into those rear tyres as I possibly can. So we get ready to line up on the grid then. Of course, starting towards the front, we actually want to angle the car quite aggressively over towards the right-hand side here. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Can we just make sure we get the car slowed down, though, in the right place? There we go.
Okay,
oh, that's beautiful.
Nice one. That's going to give you the edge if you can get good launch as the race starts.
Need a good launch.
Okay,
that
so
is the key there from Mark.
Up now. Be patient and watch for those lights.
Let's please, Matt, actually get a good start here. We've lined it up perfectly for down towards turn 1. 5 red lights here at Imola. And it is going to be lights out and away we go. And Hamilton, I don't think we got a particularly bad start there, to be honest, as we're going to really box in Lewis. Yeah, look at that, both of us doing pretty well as we head down towards turn 1 there. Charles Leclerc and George Russell side by side in front. And Verstappen leads the way out of turn 1 there, but Hamilton just wriggles his way past myself there as we head out of the first chicane. Like I said, not too surprised that Hamilton was going to try and make the move early there. He's been on absolute fire early on in this season there. 2 podiums in the first 3 races for Mercedes there. But as we head up the hill on that one then, Verstappen's done exactly what he needed at the start of the Grand Prix as well. They're ahead of Charles Leclerc, George Russell and myself. Can we continue to apply pressure there as well? Lando Norris, ever the opportunist, having a look up the inside. Sorry, no, that was Alonso. That was El Plan trying it up the inside. That's even less surprising that Fernando Alonso, everything to gain and nothing to lose for him and Alpine at the moment there as we chuck it through the chicane on this opening lap. Could we see a battle at the front between Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen early on in this Grand Prix there? Charles Leclerc needs to stick in the DRS of the Dutchman there. But of course, yeah, quite a big front straightaway here at Imola anyway. So, I mean, if we can hang on to Mercedes' coattails early on in this race, I think that could really, really help us out as well there, especially with the Alpine behind me. Know how fast they are. As there goes Charles Leclerc on Max Verstappen back down towards turn 1. Is it going to end in tears between the Dutchman and the Ferrari? Charles Leclerc up into the lead here at Ferrari's home Grand Prix. There, a power move on the Dutchman there, as it looks like Lando Norris might have gone round behind us, or actually it might have been Daniel Ricciardo. Not too sure who it was. I think it was Danny Rick that's gone round. So a nightmare for him early on here at Imola, and that basically means he's going to be starting the race tomorrow right from the very back. It looks like Verstappen early on then, under a lot of pressure now from George Russell. So has Verstappen just not got the pace he showed in qualifying? DRS now enabled as well there, as we're going to stick within the 1 second of Hamilton there, as we've got another car with issues. Is it Lando Norris now? Have McLaren had a nightmare start to this race? No, I think it is. I want to say it's maybe Ocon? Yeah, Esteban Ocon out of the Grand Prix there. First Renault power unit I've seen fail on F1 22, but not the way Ocon wanted to start this weekend there. The Frenchman out of the race. And that's really not going to help us out. Don't think we're going to quite be within the DRS range of Hamilton. And that means we're going to be under a lot of pressure pretty much immediately from Fernando Alonso, because even if I did manage to get within the 1 second detection zone of Lewis Hamilton in front, we're not even going to be able to utilise the DRS anyway. There is no Mick Schumacher at the Grand Prix as well. What's happened to our teammate? Has he had a mechanical failure as well, as we got a safety car? Looks like, yeah, Mick Schumacher's car has just switched off on him as we went up in towards the Variante Alta on lap 3 here. Schumacher out of his second race of the year there. When will Mick get some consistent luck on F1 22? Does work quite nicely for me though. With a bit of luck, the DRS will get fixed by the time the safety car's back in there. But 2 more mechanical failures, and we've never had a safety car in a sprint race. Why is that flashed up again? Is the DRS okay? No, it's definitely not okay, but it can't have got any worse, surely. Well, having a look then at the current running order there, Carlos Sainz up to 7th place there. Perez now into the points as well. Just Daniel Ricciardo, yeah, of course the 2 drivers that have retired from the race with major issues. Charles Leclerc, championship leader as well here in Imola. And fingers crossed this safety car won't last too long, because now if the grid rebunches up and we get working DRS, we can hopefully plan an attack on Lewis Hamilton again. What's happened? What's going on? Sainz is... What, we've got like 7 cars out of the Grand Prix. I'm up to... Everyone's been disqualified. We're down in last.
Safety car in this lap. Safety car in this lap.
I think there's been a bug on F1 22. Everyone's getting disqualified, and we're now up. What? I mean, what position are we in? Everyone's been disqualified. Everyone has been disqualified in this Grand Prix there. I've never seen anything like this. I'm guessing F1 22 can't handle sprint race safety cars there. Now, out of nowhere, we've got an Aston Martin 1-2 in this Grand Prix. I mean, unfortunately, I can't even restart because mechanical failures are scripted on the F1 games. If we restarted, exactly the same thing would happen again. We're down to P6 now in the Grand Prix, but everyone in front of us... I mean, this is just bizarre. I've never had anything like this. Mick Schumacher, because he's had a mechanical failure, he might score points here because everyone else has been disqualified. I think that might need to get looked into, Coders, to be honest, as we're now... I mean, we've got 5 laps to go of this Grand Prix. We've got much slower cars all in front of us. I think, what's it? Yeah, Aston Martin lead the way there. Not too sure which one it is. As Latifi and Zhou Guanyu battling just behind Bottas, who's in the podium places there. Sebastian Vettel might win a Grand Prix here in the most ridiculous circumstances I have ever seen. As I mean, everyone's ghosted as well for some reason. I really don't know what's happened now. I think maybe now they're back to normal then. I think it was the fact Zhou Guanyu and Latifi kind of got respawned inside each other. But we're going to hopefully try and fly past at least one of them. We might get both of them as we head back down towards turn 1 there. We're still ghosted, so I've got no idea what's happening at this stage of the day. I'm going to try and make the moves anyway, sort of around the car, as that's not really how Formula 1 is meant to work. This race is completely broken here at Imola. I've never had anything like this on a Formula 1 game. And now, I mean, I don't even know what we can do because they're all just trying to drive through me. We've definitely got the pace to try and get towards the front. But now, we're back down to 6th. I mean, this is going to completely skew the championship table at the moment as we're going to try and get a run back on Latifi. We've still got no working DRS, though, as you try to have a look around the outside of the Williams. I hope we're going to ghost again. Yes, we are. Latifi there just not wanting to give me any room back down towards turn 1 there. You can see the AI much stronger off the exit of the corner. But now we're going to try and get the overspeed on the Williams. This is well and truly broken, but I still want to try and get a good result here. Could we get the eggiest ever first win on F1 22? Like I said, a lot of wheel spin as we try and head up the hill. Even if we restarted, the same drivers would get the mechanical failures, so we'd still get a safety car. And I'm guessing if this is like a glitch with sprint races, we'd still get the same thing, but we could get disqualified as well. Out of the final corner then, all over the back of Zhou Guanyu. I don't know why I'm trying to make these moves fairly on the AI, because all that'll happen is we'll ghost through each other again when we get back down towards turn 1 there. And look at that, Zhou Guanyu with the DRS still on the cars in front of him. This has got to be the strangest race I think I've ever had in an F1 game here. I've never seen anything like this, but 3 laps to go. We just can't make the progress without the DRS at the moment. And of course the AI can't really battle there as Bottas now into the lead. Is he going to get a win with Alfa Romeo there? As now the DRS has come back online and the ghosting I think has stopped here at Imola. I don't really want to test it, but Albon now and Zhou Guanyu very, very close there. I would have thought they would have ghosted if it was still in effect, but yeah, I mean, yeah, we definitely ghost if we're this close to Zhou Guanyu through the final corner there. As can we now try and get a run then on the Alfa Romeo out of the final corner? Could we still try and get a podium here at Imola? Got to make sure we actually press the button to activate the DRS as we head back down towards turn 1 here. Going to try and have a look up the inside of the Chinese driver. And yeah, we're definitely now no longer ghosting as I slam the door through turn 1 there. A very robust move, but Valtteri Bottas now into the lead. I'm sure everyone thought once he left Mercedes his winning days were over. I didn't think he'd get a win here in Imola, but to be fair, I'm not really sure if any of this should count. Alright, back to start then the final lap here from Imola. Can we try and get a run and ruin Alex Albon's afternoon and try and steal away the podium place from him in the sprint? Of course, I don't think it would actually count as an official podium anyway, but are we going to be able to get the run on Albon as we head back down towards turn 1 there? He's going to go defensive on me, but give me a big old squeeze in towards the first corner there, but we do the old up and under, and past Alex Albon we go, up into the podium places in the first sprint of the year. Sebastian Vettel though, Valtteri Bottas and myself are going to make up the top 3. I don't think anyone would have predicted that after qualifying, and yeah, like I said, you know, it's a good job this isn't a full Grand Prix, because, I mean, these are going to be critical points for a lot of us. You know, the likes of Aston Martin and Williams, sorry, yet to score so far this season, so this could massively help them in a battle against the likes of McLaren and co. But yeah, not sure, like I said, how I feel about that. What a crazy race, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, I'm just thinking now, what's the proper race going to be like tomorrow, actually? If all the grids are going to be completely skewed, I mean, we should theoretically be able to get past Vettel pretty quickly. Maybe we can try and have a look past Bottas early on in the Grand Prix as well. If anything, this raises more questions than it answers. But through the final couple of corners, then, of the weirdest F1 sprint you may ever see on F1 22. Valtteri Bottas back on top in Formula 1 there. Sebastian Vettel P2, and we round out the podium.
Brilliant job, mate. That's a fantastic podium. Super driving, really strong pace. I'm really happy. Well deserved.
So let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. Let's move on to the constructors. Another team that excelled today were Williams, who make further progress up the table. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow where we'll be live with all the action. And until then, goodbye.
I mean, effectively now, we've got a reverse grid feature race here at Imola. Nicholas Latifi and Alex Albon both scoring points there. So I think everyone but Lance Stroll will have scored points in the early races of this campaign there. And yeah, I mean, now, effectively we're looking at the grid ready for the feature race tomorrow. Charles Leclerc, because he got disqualified first, will start last here, ahead of, behind Max Verstappen there. So if this is going to be, quite possibly, the wildest feature race we will ever have on an F1 game there. Perez and Alonso, as well as both Mercedes, starting right to the back of the field there. Sainz as well, down in 14th, just behind both McLarens, and AlphaTauri is there. Valtteri Bottas will start the race from pole. Albon and Latifi, could they hang on for points? Imola isn't the easiest track to overtake at as well there, but what a weird race we had. I mean, it's definitely a glitch. Coders and EA, I hope it just gets fixed pretty soon as well there, but thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like and get yourself subscribed. I mean, the idea of a reverse grid feature race, if that doesn't make you want to be back here tomorrow, I'm not sure anything will. We'll be back very, very soon with more F1 22 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.